All right, we're at the Great Florida Bigfoot Conference. I'm in line. I'm hoping it's the food line because I'm really not sure. You know what I mean? But we got up walking around talking and stuff like that. There's Christina from Mid-Florida Bigfoot Research Group. There's her better half. There's Mike Aguilar. Y'all have seen them both on the show. Over here, we got Brooke. Hey, Brooke, wave real quick. She's busy. So we got Brooke Moreland. A lot of people here so far. We just got started. I think there's going to be a lot of people this year, a lot bigger than last year or the year before, so it's pretty good. Like I said, I don't know what line I'm in. I saw a line and I stood in it, so hopefully it's food because I am starving. So I'll jump back in as soon as we got something else going on, and we'll be talking at you later. All right, guys. Well, my career's over. We found him. I don't have to go in the woods anymore. Here he is. Say hi.
How's it going?
Hey, now I can go fish more.
Oh.
Section, which is the encounter section, which is where we're going to hear from boots on the ground, people doing research, or people who have had aha moments this year. Okay, so
some of you may have seen me. Years ago in 2010, I was in ABC's Live Strong. That was me. I'm my best moment in life. You know? I always say we all make regrets in life. Unfortunately, mine and I will regret. I have been on Weird Florida with Charlie Carlson. Now I'm on Weird Florida, who also was actually my mentor in writing. And like I said, I was out of the net for a little while. I had a little bowel cancer. Back to where I'm supposed to be. Military for all you vets out there. 21 years in the United States Army, Army cop. The second airport comes out of the airplane and no traffic tickets. I mean, I didn't jump out of the airplane just to write the traffic ticket. I said that one day in school and they said, man, you guys are your quota. So anyway, it's a pleasure being here. I look forward to seeing and hearing some stories for tomorrow. I am currently in the process of writing a book on this subject. Our publisher is Alan Childress. You may have heard of him. He's on Ancient Aliens. He's also my publisher. So again, thank you all for coming.
thank you, my friend. All right, we got new blood here. Look at this shiny, new, pretty thing sitting here. Look at him. Does anybody look more like an authentic Bigfoot hunter than this gentleman? No, he does. He does. Now let's take a moment, right? What does TV need? They need a true naturalist. They need someone. What you did on home, fantastic. How you live your life, fantastic. At the end of the day, we need more role models that encourage us to go back in the woods, even when it's scary and spooky, to find out what's going on in there. Whoever you believe in, God, created all this. They did a damn good job, and we need more people like you, sir. Now, I was all anxious about pronouncing his name, okay, because I can't pronounce any name right. Check this out, though. Biko. Ladies and gentlemen, Biko.
Hey everyone, how's it going? I am Biko Wright. I was on Alone and Expedition Bigfoot. And this is my first time doing a conference, so I'm a little nervous being a random guy. But yeah, I've got a background in wilderness survival. Growing up with my family, we did a lot of backpacking, a lot of hunting and fishing. My dad's a Marine, and we were just out training in the woods all the time, so I never imagined it would kind of guide me into a weird survival career, but here I am. Really pleased to meet all of you, really excited to be here, and I love to be out in the woods, love to do survival stuff, and then, all the Bigfoot stories growing up from my dad kind of just guided me into that role, and then somehow I got on Expedition Bigfoot with Maria, and the rest is history.
So humble, enjoyable at last. Superstar right there in the making, right? Anyway, well, switching from the new guard to the old guard. How many people know this Mr. Raymond, Mr. Charlie. Anybody? Yeah. No, we were talking about people that have been in this, what, 30 years? 40? 30? Yeah. The memory's the first to go, so. But 30 years, a trained psychologist, correct? Yes. Yeah. No?
I was bachelor, yes.
Well, here's what I'm going to say, right? We meet a lot of people, and you have to interview a lot of people, and you have interviewed a lot of people. And that background would come in very handy trying to sift through the people that like to tell stories, the people that have authentic experiences. Although, I would argue, it's hiding the heart of the authentic. Because the hair rises up, the pupils dilate after 20 years later. You know, hopefully you all talked to someone that's had a Class A sighting, or at least something that they believe was, because it is amazing to watch that person tell that experience. Anyway, Charlie runs run into a few of those people, and I would like to tell you a little bit more than that.
Thank you. Believe it or not, I lived half my life in West Palm Beach. I was born and raised in West Palm Beach. I was a school teacher for 26 years. My dad told me bedtime stories at Sunday, and then he would shut that off and shut the door. Thank goodness I did not do any Bigfoot research when I went to UF. University of Florida Gators. With the game tomorrow night. Yeah, I moved to Kentucky to live 30 years there for the Bigfoot Research Organization, and I was blown away by people that would spend hours on the phone telling me the emotion, the detail, and then they thank me for listening because nobody believed them, their own family did not believe them. And I was taken back by that, and I would document all the reports. Over 700 credible reports I've taken in 3 decades in Kentucky. And witnesses tell us a lot. And he was talking about the witnesses. We don't have a lot of pictures, right? Like Patty, or video like Patty, there's not a lot out there. The witnesses tell us what they look like, how they behave, and where they live. Witness testimony is crucial to our research. So I documented a lot of that. Tomorrow at 3 o'clock, I'm going to share some amazing stories, eyewitness encounters from Kentucky, and I'm also going to share some evidence that I've collected in this past year that I think will blow you away. You gotta keep my presentation, you gotta watch it, it will blow you away. And I got this right now, I'll tell you, I'll give you $500 when I show you what I'm going to show you tomorrow. If you can prove it's wrong, I'll give you $500 tomorrow. That's how excited I am for this research that just came out this past year. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. I'm excited to be here. Give me a whoop whoop.
All right, everybody, we need to start tomorrow today. I want to know $500. All right, what's we got? Brian Kingshaw, a very good friend of mine. I would probably cry if I took myself back to a moment that we shared this year. But I'm not going to go there because it's part of his big speech, and I'll let him do the judge on that. Let's just say 2025 was an all-time year. That's all I can say. Well, Brian, you know, there's no training. You go through life. He was an accomplished police officer, and then he decided to reinvent himself. So if any of you are thinking, I can't do it, or I can't reinvent myself, it's lies. You can. You know what it takes? Passion and grit. And he's an inspiration to me because he's rich, and now he's even more successful, I would argue, in his new career as a podcaster. So if you ever listen to Sasquatch Jones, if you haven't sat by the fire and listened to his stories, the people that tell them to him, then you're going to sound. Anyway, do you even need to say anything?
No. I'll be brief, I promise. Like you said, I did 16 years in law enforcement. I left the City of Atlanta Police Department back in 2016. And now I'm a full-time Bigfoot investigator, researcher, podcaster, author. Done some television stuff you might have seen on bikes. I've done a couple of TV documentaries in the past. And we just finished a documentary that'll be coming out hopefully in another month or so. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. I'm actually going exclusive trailer for the new Bigfoot documentary that RPG and I were part of last year. So, and yeah, part of my presentation that I really want to share with you guys tomorrow is a lot of evidence I've collected. I'll actually have some of that evidence here in my booth tomorrow for you guys. I have some books. I have 2 books out that are published currently. But the main thing is talking about that experience that Brian and I got to share with each other last summer, and get into this documentary, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it as much as we enjoy putting it together. So I'm excited to talk to you guys. I think I'll talk to 2:15 tomorrow. I love to collect stories, so if you guys have had stories, anything you want to talk to me about, come by the booth and see me. I love to talk to people. That's my favorite thing about coming to do these things is talking to you guys. It's my favorite thing in the world. So I'm glad to be here, and I'm looking forward to meeting every single one of you guys tomorrow.
How many Bigfoot documentaries do you watch where you actually get to see someone when they have that moment? How many? Where you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's all I'll say. It's hard to follow the $500 thing, Charlie. I get it. It's hard to follow. I don't know what to say. David, so just met David. And once again, it comes down to who do you believe in the space? Who can you trust? We put the police officers here, which is nice, but a forensic expert and someone that can actually really analyze the foot, look at the dermal ridges. I said to him, I'm like, hey, I can look you up the cliff. He's like, I do all of those, sir. Basically, so I don't want to say too much more, but I'm really impressed, and our space needs more of you. And so we're very glad you're part of it. And if you haven't picked his brain, please take a moment to make sure you talk with him. This is what we need, you know, to prove what we're all out to prove. So here you go, sir.
So, I'm David again. I am currently assigned to the crime scene unit, where I'm a certified crime scene investigator and a certified fingerprint examiner. How I got into this was I had a few of my own weird instances in the woods, but I wouldn't exactly attribute it to Bigfoot, but it left my mind open. And I started reaching out to several people, trying to see if I can help bridge that gap between the scientific world and Bigfoot. Because some people were saying from this community that we don't do that, and I decided I was at least going to try. So Cliff Barrington was nice enough to send me a bunch of casts with supposed dermal ridges on them. I've been providing forensic reports on the backside for a while. I did write a book. It's about how to capture footwear impressions, your Bigfoot impressions, and different types of soils and substrates. So hopefully, this is also my first time doing this. So it is a little nerve-wracking.
Welcome. There's a lot of firsts because we're going to get Herbert Jr. decided to get it's his first time too. So like you guys are helping us usher in these new amazing researchers that we need in the space. Does she even? Okay. My first love on TV, and then we got divorced. She dated Ronnie, and now she's dating Mika. No offense, it's just a TV romance. And here I am, I got to put on a big smile, and I'm obviously still in love. Now, life's about finding mentors and inspiration for yourself, for those around you, and if you have anyone in your life that needs any inspiration, especially my babies, my children, my girls, she is living proof that you can do anything and everything you want if you've got passion and grit. It is such an honor to share time with you, and thank you for literally bringing a big, beautiful spotlight to Bigfoot. You know, it's beautiful. Thank you.
So, I guess as RPG just pointed out, I was also on wife swap, except I swapped the boys out. No, RPG, come up here, RPG. RPG took the very first steps that we ever took out into the field on Expedition Bigfoot, and he will forever be a member of our team, just so that you know. way that I had never seen before experienced just how rapidly you basically deteriorated before our eyes, and it was terrifying, and it was also a heartbreak because we were just getting started, and the energy and the passion that you bring to it was really infectious. So thank you.
Other directions to go, and I am grateful now. But I was depressed for 2 years.
And then, you know, I guess Ronnie was a rebound, and then Biko is the guy. But how many of you, this is the first time to this amazing conference? Raise your hand. Wow.
It is a lot.
Okay, well, welcome. And so just raise your hand if you've been here before. Also, all right, fantastic. So it's a pretty even split. Tomorrow at 1 p.m., I'm going to be giving a talk. I'll give a little bit of my background there for those of you who are sort of new to the space, because you see me on Expedition Bigfoot, but I actually had a over 2-decade career doing wildlife documentaries and working with animals in the wild. So I'll share a little bit of that with you. And then, of course, we'll dive into some of the stuff that we've experienced during our expeditions. But thank you so much for having me back. Where's Marty? I don't have my glasses on. Well, I want to... Hey, Marty, did you get the last meatball? Is that what happened? I want to make sure we all give a big round of applause for him putting this all together. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.
Awesome. All right, another first timer, not sure about all this. We had to coax him down here. We said, listen, how can we be serious in this space and try to get back to nature if we don't have someone who can speak from a Native American perspective? We are so lucky and so honored. In my own Bigfoot research, I went from a dumbass white guy to actually having experiences in the woods once I opened up my heart and my mind to authentic wisdom, as I call it. So, not that I got too much, but it is an absolute honor that he's here. Also, his first time. Let's give him a warm welcome, please. Gotta hang on to the chair here. You know, it's first time actually speaking about Bigfoot and different things. But I was raised out in the woods in a native village, and we only spoke our native language when I was being grown up. And when I was young, all my elders told me those are things that you don't talk about, things you don't mess with. You have to be educated. You have to understand the spiritual world. And so today, you know, I came, you know, November was my birthday, and I reached 60 years old. And I was like, oh my God, yeah, I'm getting old. And so, but I was training in native culture about the wisdom, the stories, the legends, everything about our native culture. Talk about Osceola, talk about, you know, the human body, the mind, the spirits, and I noticed that, you know, like RPG here had an incident, and I watched that show, and I was amazed that, you know, they don't come around to Native Americans and ask for spiritual help, and that's what that is. You know, when we touch on spirituality, we talk about the Creator, who created the earth, who created that species, everything on earth, and Bigfoot is just one of them. But, you know, there's other things out there that I've seen, that I know about, that other people don't know about, because I live in the woods. And when you're out there 99% of the time, you see things that other people would never see. And, you know, I've seen about 20 panthers, you know, curl up in the tree, and they say they're solitary animals. But I've seen them gather. And I asked my grandma about that. And she said, once a year they do that. They have a meeting. Every species that you see out there, they all speak to each other. And during certain times, they'll have a gathering, and the king will come to the middle, and they will gather around the king of the species, and he will speak to them. And that's part of our spirituality, understanding there's a king system in nature, man, animals, whatever it is, even sickness and disease. And that's what I deal with. I kind of help everybody who comes to me in order to ask for this blessing, should I say. Because, a lot of it, my kids, they like to party and hang out. When they get in trouble and get sick, they come to me and heal them up, send them back out. Everybody's children. But it's my first time speaking, and I will be talking about Sunday, and talking about spirituality. So whatever you have, you can come to me and speak to me, and we just need to put you on the right path. Oh, but no, get out of here. So, some of us call Roger Patterson the first true Bigfoot. Okay? The people of Bigfoot, but he was charging at the subject, right? So, my respect always goes out to the people that charge the hardest at it. Right? It's like fishing. More than that Lord gets the water, better your odds of having an experience. It pays off, and you are witnessing someone that is on fire in the best way possible and rising. So, just as much as it's first time talk for some people, which it is, there you go. It is, you're seeing someone who is going to be very huge in the future. So, bro, it's like Carol.
Started Dark Florida with the idea of bringing people together and hearing stories, and I look at Bigfoot like investigative journalism, and I approach it in that way and follow where the data and the stories take me, and it has brought me to some beautiful and wild places. I made some incredible connections, and I can't wait to have the opportunity to talk to all of you guys and hear your stories. But on Dark Florida, we cover everything from Bigfoot to unsolved mysteries, anything that's interesting, the paranormal, nothing's off limits. So feel free to talk to me about anything Bigfoot or beyond. But I'm just really honored and excited to be here and share the stage with some of the other amazing people. Thank you guys. Hearing stories, and I look at Bigfoot like investigative journalism, and I approach it in that way and follow where the data and the stories take me, and it has brought me to some beautiful and wild places. I made some incredible connections, and I can't wait to have the opportunity to talk to all of you guys and hear your stories. But on Dark Florida, we cover everything from Bigfoot to unsolved mysteries, anything that's interesting, the paranormal, nothing's off limits. So feel free to talk to me about anything Bigfoot or beyond. But I'm just really honored and excited to be here and share the stage with some of the other amazing people. Thank you guys.
Thank you. It's really nice to be here with everybody. I have been in the Bigfoot community for over 20 some odd years professionally. You might have seen me obviously on other programs dealing with ufology and dealing with UFOs and things like that. I also did some paranormal stuff with Jack Osborne, UFO Witness, things like that. I'm very heavy in the field and very hands-on. But when it comes to Bigfoot, I like to drag my brother along with me. But we grew up wild. We grew up at an exotic animal ranch. We dealt with a lot of exotic animals. And for me, I always wanted to be like the Jane Goodall or the Diane Foxy, the Bigfoot in the Mist girl, right? Like the girl with the big tree. And there's people like Maria, where we have someone to look up to in that respect, that continue that journey in that regard. And I was always that girl living in Colorado in the mountains, hearing the stories throughout the Rockies in Estes Park about Bigfoot and Sasquatch and all of these things. And I was that little girl in the dream who didn't want to follow the path of everybody else, who wanted to support the next person who had an encounter, who was afraid to talk about it. I was tired of being bullied for my beliefs. I was tired of being made fun of because I believed in possibly this big ape running around in the woods, or my friend who saw a ghost. I wanted to support them and be there for them, and I just said, you know what, I don't care what anybody says, this is the journey I want, and I'm going to do what I have to do to get there, but I'm going to support everybody in the process, and I want a safe space for everyone to come to and share their stories without judgment, because I've been there, and it sucks. Honest to God, it sucks. So for everyone here, I'm excited to actually be here, talk with people, hear your stories, and Rock's Monster Files. We traveled all over working under the belt of Ivan T. Sanderson, the man who coined cryptozoology.
Yep.
Getting to see his archive, yeah! And for me, he was not an icon. He came from a zoological background to all of a sudden saying, wait a minute, there's stuff out there that people need to start paying attention to because the indigenous people are telling us about it. We're not listening to them, and that's not okay. And he pushed the way forward. Bernard Kugelman was another gentleman, Roy Mackel, so many great men started that journey to say, I come from a scientific background and I don't care what you say. So for me, I love seeing this panel of professionals in that space to say, I don't care that I have a PhD, and I don't care what the academia thinks. I think that there's something out there, and I believe those people, and I'm going for it. And I back that, I love that, I support that, and that's why I'm here today. It's not because of what I did, it's because of all of you. So please, keep it up. Don't care what anybody says. Okay? Because I had a big brother who believed in me, and he was like, she's crazy. She's freaking nuts. And I'm going to go over there. Because he's my animal guy. He continued the journey, he has a facility, and so I lean on him a lot with the animals, like behavioral things that I have to try and put pieces together in the field that sometimes don't make sense. So he's my protector, and he's like, what are you taking on now? So I definitely, RPG, you can introduce him, or...
I don't know. You would know.
Okay.
Success, right? Like,
So, I'm not your big brother. He's my big brother. There were 7 of us. He was at the top, I'm at the bottom of the family chain. But we were always the crazy ones. We were the ones that created our own path and just stuck to what we wanted. And this is his first rodeo with this type of stuff. But he's also the guy that I can rely on. And so in Lost Monster Files, there was no way in hell I wasn't going to drag him in with me. Because I was like, we're in this together. Like, picking our underbrush and just, we're like, we're doing this together. And he's like, she's going to kill us. Like, she's freaking going to kill us. You know, she's going to say it's safe, but it's fair. You're going to die. But this is my brother, Troy. I love him. Take it over.
I don't know what to say to that, but I appreciate my recommendation. Yes, my name is Troy. I own a facility in Florida where I do a lot of educational outreach with wildlife. I'm predator specialist. I specialize in crocodiles mainly. So Bigfoot and crocodiles. So we got into a show called Lost Monster Files. He drug us into that. Me and my buddy Justin, and we do the wildlife work. And so I've learned a lot of stuff from everybody, things that I wasn't in tune to. One of the blessings for me is I'm from Florida, and I grew up in South Florida, and I got to work a lot with the indigenous people in the Everglades. So you hear a lot of stories that make a lot of sense together, and you hear the things, it just really comes together in a really unique soup of just awesomeness. So I'm glad to be here. It's my first time. I look forward to meeting everybody tomorrow and seeing everybody what you got going on. I'll be bringing a white alligator with me, so if you guys want to hold a white alligator, we'll get up close with that. Feel free to come over and see me. I'm in the other thing. I'm working on now. So I think that's pretty cool, and it's a pleasure to meet everybody. Thank you.
All right, so we've ate dinner. We got to meet the guest speakers and stuff like that, and some of the people. And I'm coming over there. So right now, if you can form in the line, everybody's getting their pictures with all the guests and stuff like that. I'll jump in there. mostly because RPG and Brian King Sharp are friends of mine, so I definitely want to get a picture with those guys. Good turnout, way bigger than last year as far as the VIP goes, because I do understand it is a little bit of expensive. Here we go. Look at that. He's everywhere. All right. So let's walk around. Let's get a view of everything. We got Mike. Y'all remember him from the show? So Mike's working. Mike's not even enjoying himself.
I'm earning my my VIP.
That's it. He's earning his VIP. So
I got to do it though.
So hey, food. As long as we get fed, we're good. We're good. So, but
have a good show, brother.
I think tomorrow's going to be good. I think it's going to be big because this is bigger than usual.
Yes.
The VIP dinner was way larger, and so I think there's going to be a lot of people. Especially on my show, we promote that thing every single week.
The secret guy is going to be Herbie. Herbie's going to be the one that you can't not just dial into Herbie.
Right.
I've already done it once.
You know,
See, I walked up to him and said, "All right, boss man, you look too strange."
I walk around.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that's my boss man.
So I'm waiting for that line to die down before I get in there, and so it's not that big of a deal. David Sidoti, he's busy talking right now, but good old friend there, David Sidoti. Nice to meet you.
How you doing, sir?
We do the gay handshake. That's all right. Not that I don't judge. So this will be on my channel. So.
Okay.
It's not for chicken. All right.
We're hanging out here with David.
Yeah.
Talking some really good stuff here, stories.
Oh yeah, you got some good ones?
I was just telling him about my two weird incidences that I had in the woods that opened my mind and maybe there was something out there.
Right.
I was telling my brother and I were avid turkey hunters, and we used to go out and go find them, find out where they were roosting, and then you'd have to walk back when it was dark. Well, one night I was walking back, and I was following a deer trail. I was about a quarter of the way down from the peak, from the ridge line, and down in the valley, you could see like a little red dot, and it was just kind of floating along down in the valley. And at the same time, you could hear what sounded like a person walking back and to my right, on top of the ridge. I thought it was my friends messing with me. So I actually turned and I said, that's a good way to get shot.
Yep.
I was carrying a bow, but I had a pistol on.
Right.
And he said, I'm sorry, there was nobody there. And no response. So I still see this red dot. Now it's still been moving the whole time, so it's moved up further. And this noise is still there. So at some point I get a little nervous because I'm thinking my friends would have by now done something like that. So I found a tree and I just posted up on it. I just had my back to the valley and I was standing here watching up. I didn't hear a thing. Nothing. No noise, no nothing. Turkey hunting, you're patient, right? It was only 10 minutes. Short 10-minute stop. So I started walking again, didn't hear anything for a while, and then it started again. I did something that you should not do in the woods because I was now close enough to where I could see the glow from the campfire up in the trees. And I ran.
You became prey.
Because I was thinking, yes, I became prey, but I was thinking there was a person there.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking something else. I was more interested about the red light, not about the person who's not supposed to be hunting on our land.
Right.
So I go running in, they're laughing, telling the story, and that became just a thing. And a couple years later, my brother brings his 10-year-old son to go camping for the very first time. And he says, "Uncle David, what's that?" And we all turn and look, and it's that freaking red light.
Oh, wow.
Moving through the trees. I was like, yes.
Part two.
I got excited, and I said, yes. My brother pulled his gun out. His son ran in the tent. And I'm just sitting there.
You're just excited you got vindicated.
Yes. That's the only thing that crossed my mind.